Today I'm going to make spaghetti con vongole, which is a very interesting dish from Naples because it uses very tiny little clams. But you can use whatever clams you can find at the fish market. And to do it, you want to start with spaghetti, just spaghetti that you go and buy in the grocery store. And now when you cook spaghetti or any other kind of dried pasta, you have to remember to use a pot that has at least 4 to 6 quarts of boiling water. And to add the salt, about a tablespoon for every 4 quarts before you add the pasta. So in it goes. Well, here we have clams that I just cooked, you see? And they're very easy to shuck. They just come out just like that. And I'm going to be using some of these a little later on. But now for my recipe, let me show you the kind of clams you never want to use. And those are these. Now here are cooked clams that never opened. Those you want to throw away. Here's a clam that we bought that has a hole in it. Bad to use. Throw that away. Here's a raw clam that was open when we bought it. Why we bought this, I don't know. But we're not going to use any of those. So you discard any clams like that. Then for the rest of this recipe, and before I begin, here are my clams now all shucked and ready to go into the dish. I have got in this pot some of the flavorings for our spaghetti dish. And here we have some fennel and some scallions that I've been cooking down in a little bit of olive oil. Now I want to give that a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. And I hear my pasta pot rolling over here, so let me take the cover off now and let that cook without the cover on. And you may want to give the pasta just a stir once or twice. But this is more typical of what you would find in Campania, red hot pepper flakes. So we're going to add both the green and a few flakes of the red go in. And cook that for a few seconds. And then we're going to add a little bit of the juice that we reserved from the clams, so that when I cook the clams, I reserve some of the clam juice. So with that, I'm going to add tomatoes. And here we have dried tomatoes. These are tomatoes, plum tomatoes that we just dried until they were bendable. You see, most of the moisture is out of them. And now we're going to add that to our sauce. This is going to make a really nice, spicy looking sauce. And then our clam juice goes in. And you want to strain this through cheesecloth. After you take the clams out of the pan, make sure that you strain the juice because sometimes there's a little bit of sand left in with the clams. And also with this, I want to use a dry white wine, and I think a great wine to use in the sauce here is something called a Grappa di Tufo, which does come from Campania. So you want to put, a half a cup to maybe 3/4 of a cup, whatever you like, and let that cook. And then at the end, I'll add some lemon juice and some parsley. So now let me go back and check and see how we're doing here on pasta. So I don't want this to cook too much because in this dish, spaghetti cooks twice, once in the pot and then once in the oven. And how do you know when spaghetti is cooked? Well, you take a piece and you taste it. And that has, maybe about 30 seconds to go. So let me get my bowl out for this while we're waiting. So you want a big bowl because you have to drain the pasta into it. And you want to make sure that your sauce mixture is cooked. And mine looks great. So now I can turn this down and add flat leaf Italian parsley, not curly parsley, flat leaf. I want to put some of that in for taste and for color. And I want a little bit of lemon juice. And now this is a dish where we are not using any cheese because we have seafood. And typically when you cook spaghetti or any other pasta that has seafood in it, you do not add cheese because it competes with the flavor of the fish. And now I can take my sauce over And that goes right over the top. I wish you and Emilio could be here to smell this. And now we want to give this a toss. And I'm going to add now my clams. They go in. And now once I've got it all mixed up, I've got my oven on at 350 degrees because we are making spaghetti con vongole in cartoccio or al cartoccio. And for that, you need a piece of parchment paper and string. And this is a great way to serve spaghetti as a first course. That's a little bit unusual. So I take some of my mixture and put it right in the center. This is going to serve, 4 to 6 people. Make sure you get some of those clams in there too. Keep it in the center. And then take a couple of those clams that are still in the shell and put it in the center. Then take the paper at the corners. And parchment paper is normally used for things that you bake in the oven, but it's great for this. And you make a little package. Then you take some kitchen string and tie it right around the bundle. And now your oven is on at 350 degrees. And here are some that I did before. You put it on the pan and you put it into the oven 350 degrees for about 10 minutes.